In her short story, The Evening and the Morning and the Night, Octavia E. Butler illustrates a futuristic society where certain individuals are afflicted with a disease known as Durier-Gold disease. This disease is caused by a cancer cure pill which then mutates the genetics of the individual. Those with DGD are extremely feared and alienated within this society due to the potential threat that they can become violent and dangerous. The main protagonist of this story is a woman named Lynn who has DGD. She struggles immensely with isolation and the fear of losing control of her own temperament. Lynn eventually meets a male named Alan who has also been diagnosed with DGD, and together they discover a place known as DILG, which is a unique community where patients with DGD are treated as equals within society. The setting of DILG can be perceived in many ways, including as a safe haven for outcasts, as a metaphor for self-acceptance, or as a vision of an alternative society. Starting out, it can be interpreted as a safe haven for outcasts. Lynn and Alan are traveling from Los Angeles to the northern part of California to visit DILG. They arrive and they take in this grandiose, picturesque landscape that DILG was. The reader experiences the openness and the voluntary nature of DILG when Lynn describes the front entrance of DILG. She states, "The front doors were huge, one set of wrought iron and one of heavy wood. Neither appeared to be locked." The recognition of the front entrance not being locked, like other DGD wards that Lynn had previously visited and had negative experiences with, shows that DILG was not a place of confinement or punishment, but rather it was a place where DGD patients would voluntarily stay on their own will due to its accepting culture and the environment of understanding the patients for who they truly were. If the main entrance doors were locked, this would express a concern from the DILG employees that the individuals staying at DILG may try to escape at some point. This concern never surfaced due to the safety and security of DILG for the patients. Similar to the detail of the doors being unlocked, Octavia Butler does a great job of painting the picture for the reader of the surrounding exterior of DILG. When Lynn arrives, they actually bask in this placid atmosphere of DILG. She exclaims, "There were other newer buildings, more like guest houses than institutional buildings, and there were wooded hills all around. Nice country green." The calmness of DILG is vividly described in this quote, and it furthers the argument that DILG was more than just a DGD ward. It was meant to serve as a home where these patients were understood and valued, with the ultimate goal of ensuring their safety from losing control and experiencing condescension in the public eye. Similarly, it can be read as a metaphor for self-acceptance. Upon arrival, Lynn and Alan are immediately greeted by a worker named Beatrice. She gives them a tour of the property, and Alan starts to ask questions about what makes DILG different and how they treat their patients. Beatrice articulates this when she says, "They can create something beautiful, useful, even something worthless, but they create, they don't destroy." DILG was a place where DGD students were fully encouraged to embrace their passions through art creation and sculpture. This wasn't to take anything away from them or gain monetary compensation, but rather to offer a space where the patients were accepted. Additionally, Butler does a fantastic job of displaying the intentionality of the workers at DILG, like Beatrice, for example. Alan and Lynn were preparing to meet Alan's mother, who was also a patient who had DGD and staying at DILG, and Lynn was very, very frazzled. She had terrible experiences in the past with DGD wards, and she's comforted by the intentional questioning and asking of Lynn. And Beatrice does a great job of asking great questions, and Lynn is able to settle in and calm down and feel like she was accepted, even though she had been fighting this all of her life. And lastly, the setting can be interpreted as a vision for an alternative society. This is the one that I agree with the most. Lynn reflects on, what makes DILG so different. And when she states, DILG was called a retreat, this was the biggest part for me. It was so simple, yet it being called a retreat, even by a skeptic like Lynn, that it mentions that DILG is representative of this vision for an alternative society. The futuristic setting of the short story shows that Butler is attempting to convey a concept that she would like to see happen in our society. DILG reflects principles of respect, acceptance, and treating all individuals with dignity, regardless of their differences. The vision for this alternative society is one where people are valued for who they are, and we should strive towards that and act as the cornerstone of our society. We need to embrace our differences and understand that it's our shared humanity that binds us all together. If we can make efforts to see people's character rather than viewing them through the lens of pointing out their flaws, we can strive towards a more unified society.